How you doing, Zonnie?
Technical difficulty. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Let me just shut this down so I can stop screwing up your broadcast and then we'll get this going.
It's not like
All
you've
right.
spent
Perfect.
any
Now we
time.
got it.
Not like you spent any time on television before or anything like that. All right, Zonnie. With MLB firing up Friday, spring training games starting. I was just saying, I don't know if you heard me. Top five according to Fox Sports: Dodgers, Blue Jays, Yankees, Mariners, Mets. You go along with that to start the new season?
Yeah, I go along with it except for the Mets. The loss of Pete Alonso, that's going to kill them. Not only was he a guy that you can count on for 30 plus homers a year, but he was a leader in the clubhouse. I mean, the guy's, I can't believe they let him go. He might hit 55 in Baltimore. It's going to be a joke, but yeah, I like the rest. I think the Blue Jays are a better club on paper than they were last year. The Dodgers are the Dodgers. They got better. They're still the class of Major League Baseball. Everybody else is chasing them. Um, yeah, I don't see a much different outcome unless the world flips upside down for baseball. I think you're going to see the Dodgers in the World Series again, coming from the National League, and then the Blue Jays are going to have to get on a roll as well. I thought they overachieved last year. They were a great team. But they've got some holes. They got to address the closing situation. Lots of things that they got to deal with. Bo Bichette not being there. I'm not saying they're not a better team on paper without him, but Jimenez is not going to hit like he did in the postseason for a full season. It's just not going to happen.
Well, I'll tell you what, Zonnie, the last time we talked on this show, because we've talked on the phone a few times off the air, but on this show was just before the World Series. And if you remember, you said the only way the Dodgers lose is if they beat themselves. And it goes to game
Yep.
seven. The Jays had the lead going into the ninth inning. Maybe we should walk it back a little bit. And with the way that ended, did the Jays address that issue? That's why I'm a little surprised they're as high up in the rankings as they are.
Well, it's a default. It's a knee jerk thing. It's like, oh, did the Jays do anything to really lessen the quality of their ball club? No, they didn't really because they got better defensively at shortstop. Um, their pitching staff got better. They still don't have a closer though. Like the kid's not a closer. Hoffman doesn't have any fastball command. And unless he addresses his fastball command, you're going to see a lot more stuff like you saw at the end of that game. I mean, at nauseum, I can talk about why slider was the wrong pitch for him to throw in that situation and why it was the wrong pitch for Bieber to throw. Let's not forget the home run that he gave up to Will Smith. Um, you go back and you look at the big moments in those games. What was the pitch that killed him? The off speed pitch. Like baseball players today are, I don't know why they're so afraid to give up a single the other way. They'd rather give up a home run on a slider and they think that it's somehow harder to hit than a fastball well located down the way. And that's the weakness, the Achilles heel of most of the pitching that comes out of a bullpen, especially the Blue Jays. They don't have fastball command. Why would you not want 97 at the knees if you can command it? It's unhittable. Hoffman has 97 plus in the tank. Figure out a way to command your fastball, buddy.
Well, and that was my thing because all year he said after the game, he goes, I just cost this team a ring. Okay. We all saw
No,
it
you
coming.
didn't.
What's what he said? It's
Yeah.
just what he said.
Yeah, I know, but it's not him. It's the organization. It's the game in general. They're in love with spin. I don't give a rat's ass what you say to me about how hard guys throw. First of all, the radar gun readings are juiced. It's 3 to 4 miles an hour harder than what really happens at home plate because they're measuring out of hand. And an 86 mile an hour cutter, it's really an 83 mile an hour cutter when it hits home plate. And if it's down the middle, it's a bad fastball and a bad slider times two. It's easy to hit. The longer the ball is in the hitting zone, the longer time a major league hitter has to barrel it up. And if you're predictable, meaning you know that you can't beat me with a fastball, I know you're going to throw a breaking ball. And so now all of a sudden the breaking ball that starts at the knees, that finishes out in the dirt, that I swing over because I think it's a heater because you got me all torqued up looking at 97 on the radar gun. I don't need to swing at it anymore. It comes out of my hand. I'm looking for a breaking ball. I can see it spinning. Most of them start spinning right out of hand. They announce themselves. It's not an effective pitch. Whereas fastball down and away, a four seamer at the knees, down and away, it's in the hitting zone the least amount of time of any pitch that's thrown on a major league diamond. It's the hardest pitch to do any damage on. So what? Give up a single to right field. Give me a break.
It was a magical year in 2025 for the Blue Jays, and when Vladdy showed up last week, you probably saw it to Dunedin. He goes, "This year's going to be more fun." Do you think he's just saying that, or does he believe it?
I think he's hoping. Is it going to be more fun? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. You tell me. What's more fun? Um, Going to the World Series and getting your guts ripped out again, or not making it at all? I don't know. What's more fun? I mean, he's assuming that they're going to go back. I don't know. Wishful thinking. I love Vladdy Jr. By the way, I think he's a stud. I'm, I'm eating crow when it comes to how good a player he's become on the defensive side. I didn't think he had it in him, but I've been proven wrong before. Um, I don't know. I think that's lip service. I think it's spring training lip service. How long before we get the guy that says I'm in the best shape of my career? When's that happening? Because there's one in every locker room that says that first
Yeah.
interview of the year. When are we getting that one?
Yeah. Hey, I love it. This is why you are the best analyst in baseball. C Lightning writes in, says, Gregg Zaun, when do you think Bo Bichette, or how do you think he'll take a demotion to second base and not pout? What did you think when he left? I'm assuming you weren't surprised. I wasn't. Feels like everybody leaves.
Well, no, I wasn't surprised he left. I knew before the season started that the Jays were thinking about moving him. They were thinking about trading him. Um, I still have friends, still have people that talk to me. Um, they weren't happy with him before the season started. In fact, nobody in that organization imagined that they would make it to the World Series. They were talking about uh, trading him at the deadline if he was raking and they were out of it. They expected to be out of it. So no, I'm not surprised he left, and I'm not surprised that he left of his own accord. He's a defensive liability, in my opinion, at shortstop. I don't think he's going to be much better at second. And the whole thing about him in the middle of his free agent campaign, so to speak, saying, "Oh, I've got no problem moving to second base." Well, of course you're saying that because nobody wants you to play shortstop. They don't want you to play shortstop, but you still want to get paid like a shortstop, and he sure as heck did. But he got paid like a shortstop on a short-term basis. So, Bo Bichette, your turn to go put in some work on the defensive side because it's clear that all he cares about is hitting. When you hear rumors about his mental health days that he takes off, I mean, is this the kind of guy you want in the middle of your lineup on a championship caliber ball club? No, absolutely not. I think the Jays are a better team without him. They're going to miss the bat, of course. They're going to have to figure out a way to replace the bat, but I don't think the Jays are really that sad that he's gone. I think the fans are sad because they don't look at the game from every angle like I look at it, and they certainly don't understand all of the analytics that come into play, especially at shortstop. And when you look at him being a defensive liability on an AstroTurf field or an artificial turf field, like clearly he wasn't putting in the work. He wasn't getting any better defensively. So I think, okay. Um, Feel bad for, the fans that loved him. But I think when you see Jimenez make all the plays at shortstop and you don't have to worry about it, you just see the ball hit the shortstop and you go, okay, he's out. That's a comforting feeling.
Gregg Zaun with us, voted the 49th best Blue Jay of all time. I saw that this morning, Zani. John in Winnipeg. That's heady praise. Heady
Top
praise.
50? Are you kidding me? That's fantastic. I'll
That's
take it.
mass. It's massive. Did you not know that? Google it.
No, I didn't know that. Good
Yeah,
Lord. That's amazing.
John in Winnipeg says, I love Gregg Zaun. No BS, all great talk. You are my fave in baseball. He's mine too, John. That's why he's on with. Listen, while we're sitting here, and I mentioned earlier, I was buttering you up to the viewers as if they didn't know you, but won a World Series with the Marlins in '97. You spend enough time in South Florida, you know how many Mets fans there are here. I'm getting to a point. There's a ton, right? New Yorkers.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
they're obsessed, not just with there's probably more Mets fans here than Yankees fans, at least of guys that I know. Are they a grease fire or what? They got top 5 payroll. They're top 5 of the power rankings going in, but they're never there in the end.
No, they're not. They're the redheaded stepchild in New York. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, the Yankees are always going to be who they are, and you know, it is what it is. I appreciate their fan base. I appreciate their passion, but they're poorly run, in my opinion. In the front office, they're poorly run. On the field, they're poorly run. I mean, I look at some of the hires that they've had, some of the people that they've had on their coaching staff the last few years, and the players that they've had, the caliber of players that they've had. How do you not get a little further? Well, clearly, it's the answer is right in front of you, and to me, it's just mismanagement both in the front office and on the field.
Gotcha. I say no more. I mean, Steve Cohen's trying to buy a World Series, and they're nowhere even close.
Well,
So
here's
we
the
don't.
thing. Let's speak on that real quick.
Okay.
Buying a World Series, everybody buys a World Series, Roddy. Wayne Izinga bought a World Series, but you know what? The first thing he did when he bought the World Series was he hired Jim Leland to manage the ball club. He hired a baseball lifer, a guy with unbelievable street cred that could take a guy like Barry U.S. Bonds and throw him under the bus in front of the whole team and still be respected for it afterwards. That's the kind of guy you need at the helm in a place like New York.
Hire the right people. Write it
Hire the
down.
right people. Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
not real hard. Ain't rocket science.
No, I wouldn't think, but apparently it is. Listen, I want you to tell folks about the Kelowna Baseball Academy before we get into any more MLB stuff because I don't want to run out of time. Tell the folks what you're
Well,
doing
it's
now.
Well, I'm coaching the Kelowna Falcons baseball team. It's a summer league team in the West Coast League. So basically, college kids from all over North America, even I got one coming from Tokyo. They come to us for extra reps. Small college kids are looking to level up as far as go D1, powerhouse, blah blah blah. So I'm doing that. It's going great. We've put together a nice roster. We're still adding players. But I got a radio show coming. I'm dipping my toe back into the media, uh, pool. Got my own radio show. It's going to be called Walk Off Slams with Gregg Zaun. It's going to be a Sunday afternoon radio show here in the Kelowna area on Vista. And then we're going to spin it into a podcast. So you'll be able to, go find me. And, all of my fans will be able to hear my big mouth running amok. And the good news is that there's no restraints anymore. I'm not working for a major media conglomerate that owns the team that I cover. So, all bets are off. Gloves are off. I can say whatever I want. I'm gonna say whatever I want about anybody and anything. So it should be interesting.
Well, I'm glad that came together. Were you able to get with my guy Regan, the big radio guy, the most famous radio guy in Kelowna?
Oh yeah, we went on the broadcast with him. He was very gracious. Got me on with the on the Kelowna Rockets broadcast. It was really a tough gig for me. I had to walk right across the street from where I lived to go into the arena, and he was a beauty, absolute beauty. Got me going here in Kelowna. Let everybody know we've had a massive response to the hiring. I think we got 124,000 views on a 60-second unpromoted ad the day they announced me as the manager, and then I went out and I hired Josh Towers, former Blue Jay, to be my pitching coach. So should be a very well coached team. I think a lot of the players that are coming in that are signing with us are enthusiastic about being surrounded by an all ex-professional coaching staff. So something that you're not going to see too often in summer ball.
No, although Matt Stair's involved in Okotoks now. We got Dustin Mulligan with us in Moose Jaw. It's fantastic you guys giving back. Okay, we have a minute. You get that in TV terms, maybe 90 seconds. What about the looming work stoppage?
Well, I imagine that the previous leadership or the leadership at the union um, is going to be dealing with their softness, their willingness to negotiate the last go round. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the owners should smell blood in the water. I mean, the amount of things that the Players Association gave up for creature comforts in the last negotiation, and then all of the uh, sort of I don't know, controversy surrounding Tony Clark, the head guy at the union. I mean, should they smell blood in the water? Are they seeing weakness amongst the troops? Yeah, I think the best thing that could happen right now is, the collective to get their backs up and understand they're going to have to scratch and claw to get back all of the things that they gave up at last go round. But not only that, but to regain the respect and the impression of their power, because right now you've got a whole bunch of stuff going on. The commissioner of baseball, the worst commissioner in baseball history, ruining the game of baseball. He basically thinks he can unilaterally make changes to the game without the union's permission. And the union needs to step up and go.
They're cutting us off. Zani, thank you. Keep in touch. Walk-off slams with Gregg Zaun coming to a radio and podcast near you. We'll be right back on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network and Game Plus TV.